Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is my review of the movie The Odyssey. So, for this video, I'm going to explain my thoughts on the movie The Odyssey, a movie I just recently watched. So, if you are interested in knowing not only, of course, if I like the movie or not, and even, of course, if it's a movie you want to watch, then this is definitely a review for you because I will explain how the movie was like clearly, okay? For those who, of course, haven't watched it, okay? So if you're interested in knowing if you want to see the movie or not, then watch this video in order to find out, okay? So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So now talking about the movie The Odyssey, how good was it? Did I like it or did I not? The simple answer question, overall, no, I didn't really like it. No, I didn't like it, okay? And of course, obviously, just keep in mind, there's going to be some spoilers for the movie, so if you haven't watched a movie, just keep that in mind, but there will be spoilers for this movie, okay? So now back on, of course, to talking about the movie The Odyssey. To be quite blunt and honest with you, the simple answer to the question of the problem with the movie The Odyssey is that the problem with it, which I didn't like about it when watching the movie, and the plot of the movie is the main character's father, Odysseus, goes on a voyage to Troy. He hasn't been seen in many years, which gives rise for somebody to take his place and now claim to be the king of the land. Odysseus once ran, and it consists of a struggle between the two main characters. The main character is the son of Odysseus, and the main villain, who of course is trying to take Odysseus's father's spot. Or I should say Odysseus's spot. Whatever, you get the point, okay? That's the point of the movie, okay? It's a story of a kid, of a succession dispute between Odysseus' son and some person who's trying to take Odysseus' spot as king, okay? That's what it's about, okay? And when I watched the movie, okay, to be quite honest with you, even though it's not really a movie I was really all that interested in. Anyway, the truth of the matter is, I just didn't find it really anything that great in honesty, okay? Because the truth of the matter is, when I watched that movie, all I really saw when I watched the whole thing, of course, was just too many flashbacks. And not just too many flashbacks, but the flashbacks were just too long. Like, the flashbacks were not like normal flashbacks, it was like 5-10 minutes or something. Or even for some of those old movies that came out many years ago, like The Godfather and, movie series and a few other ones where it took like 20 minutes or something for a flashback. Like, no, the flashback took out like a huge chunk of the movie, okay? Like, when you watch the movie, not only was there quite a few flashbacks, each flashback was very long, where they covered the story of what happened to Odysseus, to make him stay years outside of the kingdom that he ran as king, and all the things that happened, all the situations that happened, which of course there's nothing wrong with flashbacks, but the flashbacks were like easily like 25 plus minutes long for each one, and there's so many of them, which the problem with obviously these flashbacks is it got in the way of course, giving a people the sense of the world in a better way. There wasn't enough time for adventure, there wasn't enough time to really give people a scope of the bigness of the world, because of course took place in ancient Greece, which, let's keep it real, whether we want to admit it or not, is literally one of the most fascinating periods of time, in history, the time of antiquity. There's so much interesting things at the time. The world still felt large. There's so many things that could have happened to kind of make the world feel really massive, big, and very interesting. Like really give a sense of adventure, and they just didn't do it. They just covered, just simply Odysseus' story for such a long period of time, when he was stuck on an island, he was trying hard to remember what happened, to him, which made him be on that island isolated from the rest of his army, and it just talks about the story of what happened. It was just so long, and there was easily like 4 flashbacks, and each one was massively long, and I just didn't really like it, okay? It just felt kind of boring to me. It just was just too long. It was scope of the world, okay? They didn't give enough time for there to obviously be more character development for the main character, for him to also, the main character to go new places and experience adventures and stuff, but also maybe even have some dialogue sequences, in other words, character development of the main villain, so I just didn't really like the movie, in all honesty. I just didn't like it. They didn't have enough time to do, because they're so busy talking about Theseus' story and what made him, be lost for such a long period of time, over a couple of years, when they could have just done a basic flashback, maybe 10 or even 20 minutes long, which would have explained the whole thing more easily, like a basic summary. And they didn't do that, which kind of killed the vibe of the movie. And not even kind of killed the vibe, it just straight up killed the vibe of the movie. I just didn't like it. I didn't find it interesting. I found it stupid. I found it dumb. To be quite blunt, honestly, I just didn't like the movie. I just thought it was I just didn't care for it, like it, like even aside from the things other people were complaining about, like, oh, this is not historically accurate and blah 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 blah. Like that stuff is kind of stupid because like it's a movie, it's not supposed to be actually accurate. Those people are fucking dumb. A lot of them, those people in the history community, they always say, well, this is not accurate. It's not following, exact historical events precisely. But okay, a movie is supposed to be something that sells a fantasy to people but wouldn't happen in real life. Like some way, somehow, their opinion holds up. They're fucking stupid. Just ignore those people are dumb. Okay, so I'm not even trying to sound like those people. I'm just saying it's not a good movie. I thought it was stupid. I felt it was dumb, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't really enjoy it, which of course, when it comes to making movies, I definitely believe that's something that should be a standard for movies, okay? Because I know a lot of movies, not just that movie, but a few other ones that I've watched recently, have that exact same plot. They don't really explore the world. They don't have a lot of things happen to really make the world feel big. They really just have like two main locations where things happen, and that's really about it. And for that movie, it was like that. It wasn't like movies made years ago where they cover many different locations to really give you a sense of the world you're in. And of course, no shit, to be quite honest with you, aside from all those things, but also give better dialogue with the villain, so you can get an idea and understand why he acts the way he does. Like things to really help you really immerse yourself in the world. They just have like two main locations. That's about it, and just, not really much of anything that even explains the world of story as much as it possibly could. Just like Fantastic World, a perfect example, okay? They didn't really put enough effort into really explaining things that much for the movie, and for this movie was just kind of the same thing. It was just pretty much just like 50% just flashbacks of Odysseus's misadventures. It wasn't really enough world building, like why is the main character, the main villain, who's one of the main characters, the main character, villain, who's one of the main characters, of course, not the main character, one of the main characters, like why he acts the way he does, like why he's evil, the person who wants to take his throne, like, maybe some other things could also be put in place, like why did they even go to try to invade Troy anyway? Like were they paid off by someone or something like that? Like they didn't really give enough of a backstory to everything. They just pretty much just talked about Odysseus' flashbacks. There wasn't enough world building to really immerse yourself in experience and to really explain the whole overall story as much as it possibly could, aside from just why did Odysseus stay home or stay away from home for years, easily over 20 years to be more exact, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. And a lot of movies have that problem nowadays. Not enough actually putting yourself in the world. You have a lot of movies you watch and you're like, why is the villain this way? Why is he so evil? Because they don't give you any backstory of the main villain. They just pretty much just don't do any of that, and they don't give you a massive sense of the world. They just cover like two places, and that's really about it. Just like Gladiator, I believe it was two, but the Gladiator sequel, okay, for certain, okay, it was a Gladiator sequel. I believe it was Gladiator 2. They pretty much just spent all their time in Rome. They didn't give you a sense of all the places they conquered or this and that, and it kind of made it boring. And for this movie, it's no different. They didn't really travel enough places or anything like that. They just kind of staying in the same place, and that's a problem with the movie. So in short, to sum up the movie, if I could give a rating, I'd probably just give it, you know, maybe like 3 out of 5 stars, or something, or more like 2.5 stars, because the Odysseus' flashbacks are just too long. There's too many of them, and like I was saying before, they just stretch out too long, and as a result, there was enough world building, and that is the truth about a movie. Okay, it was a very mediocre movie, even if you um might have actually really liked it, at least from a technical perspective. It wasn't anything special. It was just a forgettable movie, and that's the way I feel about it. And if you want to watch a movie, it's up to you. But that's how I feel. Okay, so that's all I have to say for this video. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.